My name is Mihir Goyal, and in this video of Spanish 101, we are going to be learning about por versus para. So, a basic overview. Por and para are two words in Spanish that both translate to for in English. It can thus be quite difficult for native English speakers to understand. In this video, I will explain the difference in the use between these two words. So, in understanding the difference between por and para, you can use the DREAM acronym and the PERFECT acronym. First, we are going to be looking at the uses of por. So the first use of por in the DREAM acronym is duration, whenever you wanted to talk about the length of time. For example, yo trabajo por 8 horas. I work for 8 hours. Todos los días leo por 1 hora. I read every day for 1 hour. Mi madre commuta por 30 minutos. My mother commutes for 30 minutes. The second use of por is reason, whenever you want to express a reason for doing something. In this scenario, you would just translate it as because of. For example, estoy feliz por su éxito. I am happy because of your success. Estudio español por mi trabajo. I study Spanish because of my job. Estamos tarde por el tráfico. We are late because of the traffic. In most of these sentences regarding to reason, you would use por after the action already occurred. For example, in the sentence, we are late because of the traffic, the action already took place, and we use por to describe what already happened. This is different than para, as I will explain later. The third use of por is whenever you want to indicate an exchange, including when you bought something and tell how much you paid for it. For example, compro el auto por $10,000. He bought the car for $10,000. Or, nosotros cambiamos dólares por euros. We exchange dollars for euros. Cambie la camisa azul por la camisa roja. I exchanged this blue shirt for a red shirt. The fourth use of por is when you wanted to talk about where an action takes place. For example, caminamos por el parque. We walked through the park. Paseo por la tienda antes de ir a casa. I stopped by the store before going home. Condujeron por la autopista. They drove in the highway. The fifth and final use of por is to describe means of communication or transportation. For example, hablaron por teléfono anoche. They talked on the phone last night. Mis amigos y yo viajamos por tren a Roma. My friends and I traveled to Rome by train. Voy a escuela cada día por el autobús. I go to school daily by bus. We will now look at the uses of para using the PERFECT acronym. The first use of para is to describe purpose. For example, este vaso es para agua. This cup is for water. Compré flores para decorar la casa. I bought flowers to decorate the house. Salí temprano para evitar el tráfico. I left early to avoid the traffic. Estudio mucho para aprender más. I study in order to learn more. You can use this visual to see that para describes the underlying purpose of an action prior to it happening. This contrasts with por because por is used to describe the reason, which is the end result of an action, while the purpose occurs before the action. The second use of para is when you want to express a goal or the effect something has on something else. For example, estudia para ser médico. He studies to become a doctor. Entreno para correr un maratón. I train to run a marathon. Esta medicina es para aliviar el dolor. This medicine is to avoid the pain. And again, with effect, you can see that para comes before the action. The third use of para is when you want to talk about the recipient of an action or something. For example, este regalo es para mi madre. This gift is for my mother. Compré flores para mi esposa. I bought flowers for my wife. Prepare la cena para mis amigos. I prepared dinner for my friends. The fourth use of para is to describe future dates, when you want to talk about deadlines or moments in time in the future. It sets a specific point by which something is expected to be completed or due. For example, la tarea es para mañana. This homework is for tomorrow. El proyecto debe estar listo para el viernes. This project must be done by Friday. Tenemos una cita para el próximo martes. We have an appointment for next Tuesday. Future dates is another example in which para is used to describe something before the action. The fifth use of para is when you want to talk about the organization or person you work for. For example, ella trabaja para el gobierno. She works for the government. Soy asistente para un abogado. I'm an assistant for a lawyer. Trabajo para una empresa de tecnología. I work for a technology company. The sixth use of para is when you want to express a conclusion you have made about something or someone or to share your opinion. For example, para mí esta película es excelente. For me, this movie is excellent. Para ella, la familia es lo más importante. For her, her family is most important. Para Juan, el asunto es muy complicado. For Juan, this topic is very complicated. The seventh use of para is when you want to talk about going to a specific place. It is often used to express where someone is heading or where something is directed. For example, voy para la tienda. I go to the store. Salí para la oficina. I left for office. Vamos para el parque. We go to the park. Now that is all for the use cases of por and para. Now I will give some practice sentences in which you have to choose whether por or para will best complete the sentence. Sentence number 1. Para el examen final, estudié blank 3 horas. For the final exam, I studied for 3 hours. In this sentence, por will be used because it is talking about duration of time. Sentence number 2. El pavo es blank el día de acción de gracias en jueves. The turkey is for Thanksgiving on Thursday. In this sentence, para will be used because it is expressing the purpose of the turkey. Third sentence. Nosotros trabajábamos blank Apple. We worked for Apple. In this sentence, para will complete the blank because it is talking about occupation. Fourth sentence. Los regalos son blank mis sobrinos. Voy a darlos por la Navidad. The gifts are for my nephews. I will give them on Christmas. The answer will be para because it is showing a recipient. Fifth sentence. Lo compré blank $20. I bought it for $20. The answer will be por because it is talking about a price or exchange. Sixth sentence. Saldremos blank Madrid mañana por la mañana. We will leave for Madrid tomorrow morning. Para is the answer because it is talking about a specific place that we are going to. Seventh sentence. Gracias blank tu ayuda en el proyecto. Thank you for your help on the project. Por would best fit because it is talking about purpose. Eighth sentence. Trabajo blank una compañía internacional. I work for an international company. The answer to this is para because it is talking about occupation. Ninth sentence. Manejo el carro blank la carretera. I drive the car on the highway. The answer to this will be por because it is talking about where an action takes place. And last sentence. Necesitas completarlo blank el miércoles próximo. You have to finish it for next Wednesday. The answer to this will be para because it is talking about a future date. And that is all in this video on por versus para. I hope you enjoyed and learned something. Thank you for watching.